Let's move into the next one. Yorko and Zotic are two corporations that employ large number of full-time workers who are paid by hour. Publicly available records indicate that Yorko employs roughly the same number of employees, number of such hourly wage workers as Zotic does, but spends far higher total sum per year on wages for such workers. Therefore, the hourly wage must be higher on average for Yorko than Zotic. Well, apparently the argument looks okay, but think about it. The total wage bill of any company takes into account two things: regular uh, wage per hour into the number of hours, into the number of workers, into the total number of workers, plus overtime wage paid per hour into the number of hours of overtime done into the number of workers who have taken the overtime, done the overtime. So, if the wage bill of certain company, Yorko, is higher than that of Zortec, it is expected that the regular wage bill plus the overtime bill is higher than that of Zortec. Zortec's regular bill and overtime bill. If I again break it up further, then I must say that this regular bill, wage bill, is basically the regular wage per hour or whatever is the amount paid per hour and the overtime bill paid per hour. So if this is more, then two factors are there. Regular wage per hour is higher and the overtime is higher, or only the regular wage is higher and the overtime is not there or is the same as this. Since the number of employees we are not considering because they are same in both the cases. Like we have been written, same number. Employees roughly the same number of people. So that means the overtime bill is also one factor we'll have to take into account. So therefore, the hourly wage must be higher on average at Yorko than at Zortex. Since we'll have to take into consideration this part of the story also, the overtimes. Let's see which one fits, which option is correct. Let's look at option D. Overtime paid work which is paid at a substantially higher rate than work done during the regular work week is rare in both Yorko and Zortic. If this is correct, that means this is not there in Yorko and Zortic. So there is only one regular wage. So regular wage of Yorko workers is higher than Zortic's. That's why the total wage bill is higher. Right? So our option D seems to be the best one to complete it. Therefore, the hourly wage must be higher on average at Yorko than at Zortec, since overtime work, which is paid at a substantially higher rate than work done during the regular work week, is rare in both Yorko and Zortec. So that has not to be taken into consideration. So D. Right. So let's go to the next one and see. Concerned about financial well-being of the elderly citizens, the government of Ronagia decided 2 years ago to increase by 20% the government-provided pension paid to all Ronagians above 65. Inflation in the intervening period has been negligible, and the increase has been duly received by all the eligible Ronagians. Nevertheless, many of them are no better off financially than they were before the increase, in large extent because Okay, the situation here is, say, living in this country, Runakia, you need, an elderly citizen needs $150. The pension was $100, and the rest of the $50 is provided by the children. Okay. Now the government comes out with something that 20% hike is, there is an increase of 20%. So the total cost of living remain the same 150, as there is no inflation, negligible intervening. Inflation has been negligible in the intervening period. So the new situation is here. This is the old situation and this is the new, and the new. With zero inflation, or rather negligible inflation, let's take it at $150. This has gone up. So this is now $120. Obviously, if the if the situation remains the same for them, nevertheless, many of them are no better off financially. That means the children who are giving $50, had they been giving $50 now also, then obviously they would have been left with $170. So $20 buffer extra they get, which they can use for their further better living. But that never happened. If that never happens, then what is going to happen? Say now the parents are getting a higher pension. The children say that, okay, previously I was supporting you by $50, now I'll give you $30 only. So the situation comes back to the same. So you have got $30, $150 to make a living. So your situation doesn't change. Let's try to put this argument in place and see. Option E. In Runagya, children typically supplement the income of their elderly parents, but only by enough to provide them with comfortable living. So the children say, must have said, your pension has gone up. I am reducing my contribution. Provide only by enough to provide them. It's not that the children have been generous by keeping the money given to the parents or same. So they have actually reduced the amount of money they are giving because they want a comfortable living, not an extravagant living for their parents. So option E is the best bet for us.